I am the eagle. Since the beginning of time, man has used me and my brothers as a symbol of loyalty, power, victory, authority, and valor. My strength and courage have inspired men throughout the ages. Ancient man looked upon me as an inveterate enemy of serpents. They saw the battle between the sun and clouds as battles between an eagle and a serpent. The ancient Assyrians associated me with Asher, the great sun god. I was held in awe and worshiped for my majestic beauty. In the Assyrian myths, I was a symbol of storms and lightning and the god who carried souls to Hades. In India and Babylon, I was the symbol of fire, of wind and storms, and the bringer of immortality. In the golden age of Greece, I was the symbol of victory and the supreme spiritual energy. I was the sacred bird of Zeus, the ruler of all gods. The Greeks represented me with wings outstretched, holding a serpent in my claws, thus representing the triumph of good over evil. In Rome, I was the symbol of Jupiter, the supreme god. The Romans saw me as a symbol of victory. As the Roman legions conquered the world, they marched under the standard of the eagle with outstretched wings. The silver eagle was the symbol of the Republic, and the Roman Empire used the golden eagle as its symbol. I became the personal emblem of the Caesars, representing a supreme authority. In the Middle Ages, I became the symbol of Germany, and as falconry flourished as a sport in Europe, only kings were allowed to hunt with an eagle. The rise of Christianity brought me still more honor. To the early Christians, the eagle was a symbol of ascension. This was due to the strong flight of the eagle with its gaze fixed upon the sun. In the early icons, I was best known as the symbol of St. John the Evangelist. The Aztec tribe of the classical era in what is now Mexico cited me capturing a rattlesnake. They took this as a sign to settle at that place, which ultimately became Mexico City. Today, my image stands showing this event on the great seal of the modern nation of Mexico and on the nation's flag. In Mexico, I did not just witness history in the making, I helped cause history. In the 19th century, French troops under Napoleon conquered Europe under the symbol of the eagle. Many French soldiers gave their lives to protect the golden eagle which supported the French flag on the battleground. On June 20th, 1782, I became the symbol of a new country. Because of my courage and beauty, I was chosen to symbolize the new United States of America. The eagle became a prominent feature of the seal of the state of the new republic. From this early beginning, I have been used in many ways to symbolize the ideals of this country. Several states have the eagle on their state flags. You can find me on the coins of America from the beginning to the present day. I have a prominent place in America, as in ancient Rome, as a symbol of power and authority. The emblems of the president, vice president, several members of the president's cabinet, and most branches of the armed forces center on the eagle. From the god of the Assyrian, to the symbol of the Caesars, to the emblem of this country, it was thus fitting that the eagle should have a part in the most momentous achievement of man. The Apollo 11 crew chose Eagle as the name for the lunar module which was about to make history. And with the words of Eagle Scout Neil Armstrong, Houston, Tranquility Base here, the Eagle has landed. Man was on the moon. In 1911, following tradition as old as man himself, the Boy Scouts of America chose the eagle to symbolize the very highest in achievement. Through all of history, I have been the symbol of man's best. Now the eagle is the symbol of scouting's best.
May I please have your attention? Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Van Mantell, and I would like to thank you for coming today. I now invite Dennis Williams to open up with prayer. Would everyone stand, please?
Scottish Reverend. Our Father, make us trustworthy, for there are those who trust us. Make us loyal, for through loyalty we reach our highest ideals. Teach us to be helpful, for through helpfulness do we forget our selfness. Make us friendly, for there are so many who need a friend. Train us in courtesy, for courtesy is the carpet on life's floor. Make us kind, for kindness is the oil in the cogs of life's machinery. Insist upon our obedience, for victory comes only to him who obeys. Make us cheerful, for cheerfulness is the green grass among the rocks in the path of life. Train us in thrift, for thrifty habits brighten our future. Make us brave, brave in the dark and brave in the light, but save us from becoming fakers in bravery. Help us to be clean, clean in thoughts, in speech, and in deed. And may we remember that our bodies are thy holy temples, and that any abuse thereof is to tamper with thy great plans. Above all, O God, help us to be reverent towards all things which thou hast made for our enjoyment when we are in thy great out of doors, among the trees, among the streams, and on the hillsides. May we know it was thee who made the waters to flow, the trees to reach heavenward, and the mountains to endure to all ages. In all these things we ask that thou wilt help us, and may we never forget the scout oath to which we have pledged ourselves, so that though thy help we may live these points of our scout law. Amen.
Will everyone please stay standing for the pledge of allegiance? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
two.
Good day. My name is Lee Spencer, and I'll be your Master of Ceremonies today. Welcome to William Reid's Eagle Scout Court of Honor. You may be seated. At this time, I would like to ask that all the Eagle Scouts that are either on the podium or in the audience, please rise. Starting with Jimmy, I'd like for you to state your name and the date on which you became an Eagle Scout.
Jimmy Captain, March 2013.
February 1988.
John Vogel, 1972. Don't remember the exact date.
Thank you, Todd.
Sam Moore, December 6, 2007.
Mac Moore, August 16, 1977.
Phoenix Davis, December 2013.
Josh Williams, June 10, 2010.
Lee Spencer, 1971. You may be seated. In order to earn the higher ranks in scouting, a scout has to spend a great deal of time there. Therefore, the occasion that recognizes his accomplishments should be something special. Today, let's follow the path of the Eagle Trail. When a boy becomes a scout, there is instilled within him something that we call the spirit of scouting. Because the spirit of scouting embodies the principles of the Scout Oath and Law, it is a shining beacon of inspiration. Far away looms the hazy outline of the lofty eagle summit, flanked by lesser peaks that represent star and light. Yes, to the newcomer, they're a long way ahead, but they come a lot closer as the light and the spirit of scouting spreads. The first scout rank in scouting is tenderfoot. Once inspired by the spirit of scouting, he will not stay tender of foot for long. Putting a few simple achievements behind him, he quickly climbs to the rank of second-class scout. Even though the requirements stiffen a bit, he keeps climbing until he finally tops the mountain range along the Eagle Trail, where he receives his first-class rank. First, with these three ranks, the basic skills of scouting are attained. There is no place to rest on the Eagle Trail, for now he clearly sees the peaks ahead. Now I presses on toward the Star Mountain. He is farther along the Eagle Trail than he thought he would ever be, and he is proud of his progress. He realizes benefits that he has gained from his training for leadership and for service. The Life Scout rank, the next summit along the trail, seems far away. Our hiker rushes on, working, serving, and leading. And as he goes, he adds 5 more merit badges to his collection. The farther he climbs, the fewer companions he meets who are with him along the trail, and the more effort he expends. Moving on, our traveler has attained another peak. Our new Life Scout has completed many accomplishments, but looking up, the Scout beholds yet another summit, the highest summit of the range. He knows it must be Eagle Summit, about which he has heard so many stories. The trail leads on and upward. Now the pathway narrows, and there are even fewer scouts on it. Toward the summit, the path steepens considerably and winds along narrow ridges and ledges. Many tough spots will need to be overcome in order to conquer the last few miles. He must find and gather 10 more merit badges. As he goes about that task, he is busy giving leadership to other scouts who seek to climb the ranks of scouting. He is continually giving service to those who enjoy the trail but need a helping hand. Only those with real persistence and courage are able to gain the thrill of the Eagle Summit. Let me remind you that there are more mishaps in mountain climbing after reaching the top than there are on the trail upward. One who achieves the highest goal of scouting should never forget the rigor of the training he has endured and the responsibilities of leadership and service that were a part of his success. Never forget that the Scout law should always be fundamental in your life. There are 12 parts of the law. Joshua Williams will now address the Scout law, aided by the Order of the Arrow.
The Order of the Arrow is the honor society of scouting and has been an important part of Williams' scouting career. We will now explain the Scout law in our way. Phoenix will now speak for the East Wind.
I am the spirit of the East Wind. I represent the common law, your duty to God and country. Trustworthy, loyal, and helpful are the qualities which a man must possess who lives by the laws and rules of this land. See that we do not lose this great blessing of a lawful land.
Bill will now speak for the West Wind.
As the spirit of the West Wind, I represent the law of equity, the duty to country and to others. Friendly, courteous, and kind are the laws that breathe a conscience. They create the atmosphere that comes from within your heart. The desire for you always to be a friend to those of all ages, young and old alike. Courteous to those who pass along your trail. Cast away the harmful spirit of unfriendliness and selfishness.
Jimmy will now speak for the South Wind.
I am the spirit of the South Wind. I represent the civil law, your duty to others and to self. Obedient, cheerful, and thrifty are the characteristics of civility. A life of a cheerful obedience is necessary for the development of a true citizen. Obedience is something everyone has to learn to take orders and carry them out cheerfully. Real thrift means earning, spending wisely, and saving, and to share those with less fortunate.
I am the spirit of the North Wind, the most powerful of all. I represent the divine law, brave, clean, and reverent. To be brave is to be unselfish. To be clean in body and soul is to be pure in heart. Cast from your mind and body any evil spirit that tries to weaken or destroy the divine law. Live a life of reverence. Be brave and clean.
Finally, the 3 parts of the Scout Oath are promises that will carry you safely and securely as you travel down unknown paths in the future. Paul Nelson will now recite the Scout Oath and give the meaning of each part.
On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country and to obey the Scout law, to help other people at all times, to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight. I'm pledging that I'll give all that I have to keep myself for God and my country. I will always obey the Scout law and be helpful to other people. I'll keep myself physically strong by taking care of my body so it will serve me well for my entire lifetime. I'll keep myself mentally awake by being curious, asking questions, and working hard academically. I'll be morally straight by developing a strong character and by being honest and open. My speech, actions, and thoughts will be clean and pure.
The presentation of the Eagle Award is an important, serious, and joyful event. Eagle is the highest rank in Boy Scouting, which only 2 to 4% of all Scouts earn each year. It is important that each of us here today understand the meaning of the Eagle Badge.
For us today, the eagle is a living symbol of all our courageous and freedom-aspiring Americans. When the Eagle Badge was initially designed, it was decided to suspend a small silver eagle from a tri-color ribbon of red, white, and blue. So it has remained to this day. The foremost responsibility of the Eagle Scout is to live with honor. To an Eagle Scout, honor is the foundation of all character. He knows that a Scout is trustworthy. Is the first point of the Scout law for a good reason. An Eagle Scout lives honorably, not only because of the infinite importance of doing so himself, but because of the vital significance of the example he sets for other Scouts and other people. Living honorably reflects credit upon his family, troop, church, and community. Remember that the white of the Eagle Badge symbolizes honor. Will the Eagle Scout candidate please come forward? We charge that you, William, live your life with honor.
The second obligation of an Eagle Scout is loyalty. The Scout is true to his family, Scout leaders, friends, school, and nation. His loyalty to these members makes him pitch in and carry his share of the load. All of these help build a loyalty that means devotion to his community, country, and ideals. Remember that the blue of the Eagle Badge symbolizes loyalty. We charge that you, Williams, be true to your values.
The third obligation of the Eagle Scout is to be courageous. Courage has always been a quality by which men measure themselves and others. To a Scout, courage not only means the bravery to face physical danger, but the determination to stand up for your principles and for what is right. Trusting in God with faith, he looks forward to each day seeking his share of the kingdom's work to do. May the red of the Eagle Badge always remind you of courage. We charge that you, William, will live your life with courage.
The fourth obligation of an Eagle Scout is service. The Eagle Scout extends a helping hand to those who still toil on scouting's trail, just as others help him to climb to the Eagle Summit. The performance of the daily good turn now takes on a new meaning as he continues service to others. The Eagle stands as the protector of the weak and helpless. He He aids and comforts the unfortunate and the oppressed. He upholds the rights of others while defending his own. We charge that you, William, be prepared to put forward your best and offer service to others. Will William's parents please step forward to join me? William, are you ready to take the pledge of the Eagle Scout? Please raise your right hand in the Scout sign and repeat after me. I, William Reid, promise to live continually with the morals of the Scout law and oath of mine.
I, William Reid, promise to live continually with the promises of the Scout law.
Right. I know that I am an Eagle, a Boy Scout and a member of the team. As I travel down the narrow road of life, I will be true to those I love.
As I travel down the narrow road of life, I will be true to the ones I love.
Never will I forget the lessons I have learned
Never will I forget the lessons that I have learned
and the wisdom that accompanies them.
and the wisdom that accompanies them.
I know that in life,
I know that in life,
there will be times when I am called to act and serve,
there will be times when I will be called to action
and cause truth to reveal itself
and cause truth to reveal itself
in the souls of those who think and believe against the appropriate way.
in the souls that think and believe.
Tammy and Robin, you may now pin the Eagle badge on your son's uniform.
Him or you?
It's okay, Tam has first name.
Now a few words from William.
I want to first off start by saying thank you for everyone who has come and shown your support to me and my family today. And thank you to everyone who has supported me through my ordeals through scouting and in life itself. I do not believe that it would have been possible for me to achieve or strive to the heights that I have without the help of everyone in this room. Everyone has made an impactful, the word I'm looking for slipped my mind, but you have all made a very deep impact on my life. I'm slightly choked up for words right now, so again, thank you everyone for coming, and it really, truly means the most to me to see everyone in this room.
Now comes that part of the day where we really get to know William. We get to see him through the eyes of others. Known as a roast, it consists of people who may like their meat rare, medium, or charcoal. I now invite Mrs. Sharon Ward to begin.
And before we get to the roast, maybe you'll come over here. I forgot to do the pins. And you have been a very big mentor. I appreciate it. I was going to make you stand up for the entire time.
I wasn't told roast, so I don't have anything new on roast today. It's wonderful to be part of this, and I was glad that it came later on because I didn't know what exactly even was on. So what I wrote, let's go along with it. I'm surprised. Our family friendship began with homeschool activities like skating and side works and field trips, and very quickly the two families became close friends, and I had many opportunities to see William grow and develop through the years. I've bossed him around at a lot of book sales, pulling out tables and setting things up, taking things down. And we've had lots of long discussions, some in person and some over the phone. The easiest growth to note is when I first started, I leaned down and hugged him. Later on, I had to pull the chair over and step on the chair so that I could. And I think it's neat that he'll still accept those hugs. Besides the change in height, I've seen growth in many, many other areas. When he first became an uncle, he would barely hold the bottle of pacifier, baby germs. And he's gone from that to where he can be relied on to pick him up, take him places, put him on the bus, see that they're there. And that's a major growth for him. And he's immensely loved by the two nieces who are not here, but anyway. Oh, they are. I've seen college leadership skills from an equal willingness to lead to being the co-chair of the firm committee and putting up with a lot of red tape and a lot of details and rising to that. In other areas, he hasn't really grown because he already was way ahead of people in many. One of them was the going out the hair for lots of love. A lot of guys wouldn't have been able to do that. When we go to youth events, and he didn't know this till the other night, I would try to run interference. We'd head for the restroom, and there would be some man nearby ready to stop him and tell him that he was headed to the wrong restroom because he had fine features. And I would usually call him by name, and they'd leave him alone. You definitely won't confuse him. But that's a lot when you're young, not to back down. And there were a lot of other things that he was strong in. He's always been accepting of different beliefs and very different people and where they stood. His spiritual beliefs have always been such that he's recognized and cared about all areas and all different styles of worship, which I appreciated. Another that I thought was a strength was his acceptance and respect. Probably the final one is his ability to share his love and enthusiasm for gifts and skills. One of the first things was he got Bethany coming to archery practice. And from that, when I was working with Caravan, which is a similar, not the same level scouting program, one of our young fellows wanted to do an archery badge. And I relied on William to teach him all the archery skills and work him through that. He's also used his gifts and knowledge in fencing. He teaches and mentors others. And he's even been in charge of a presentation, I think he was in charge, but this was to me, at the homeschool conference to show that fencing could be part of homeschool education. I look forward to seeing what else.
Thank you, Sharon. I now invite Mr. John Sellers, known to a lot of you as Ocean.
Good afternoon. I was asked to speak on behalf of William Reid today, but I really didn't have a frame of reference about what an achievement it is to be an Eagle Scout. So what I normally did is, in a situation like that, I started doing research. Checking online and speaking to friends and coworkers who are Eagle Scouts or who know Eagle Scouts. I quickly started finding out what kind of a person attains this rank. Of course, words like loyal, helpful, and friendly kept showing up. But as my research progressed, stronger character traits started describing Eagle Scouts. Since I'm not a Boy Scout, these words didn't remind me of your oath or law. These words reminded me of something known as the Code of Chivalry. You see, I met William in an organization known as the Society for Creative Anachronism. It's an organization that researches, documents, and recreates the Middle Ages. The Code of Chivalry is a list of virtues or qualities that knights would strive to be examples of. Here I've listed some common examples to help characterize the William that I know from the SCA. One such virtue is humility. Humility is not thinking less of yourself, but thinking of yourself less. This includes things such as team attitude, and William has shown this greatly in project work as well as in his practice of the Reid group. He is seeing that he's part of the big picture, but not the big picture itself. Another trait that he has shown is diligence, a decisive work ethic, often described as integrity or persistence or just effort. Finishing work before he slacks off has been a trait that I've been seeing in him lately since he's been working. Doing the best that he possibly can even when he's tired or run down. It's a trait that I've seen him quite often. The third virtue that I have listed is patience. In resolving resolving conflicts and injustice peacefully, with others as well as with himself. This has been shown in his dealings with people, such as his teaching of the rapier and at work. I've gone over there quite a few times and actually watched him working with others and being very patient with helping as well as being patient with people he's serving. The fourth virtue that I have listed here is charity. Now, charity is not always giving things. A lot of times it's giving of oneself, self-sacrifice. And many times, while working on tasks in the SCA, I would be called away from work on one task to work on another task. Upon returning, I would find that William had finished the first task without the need of acknowledgement for completing the task. Because, in his words, it needed to be done. So in closing, it's my hope that the four knightly virtues that I use to describe William's worthiness in the SCA are commonly used to characterize what principles are desired in an Eagle Scout. And that is my opinion that William Reid is an example of what to strive for in any organization. Thank you.
Thank you, John. I now invite Mr. Eugene Thompson to say a few words.
missed out in life being a Boy Scout. I was raised, we didn't have any scouts. But I received scouts. I always wanted to be one. I never had an opportunity. So when his parents asked me to come and speak with him for Reid, it was a great honor. I thank you so much. I'd like to say this here too about the scouts and on behalf of Reid. It is a great organization. As a young man, I would see things on television about scouting, what they done, what the young men would learn in those organizations. And I saw something there that would help us to be a better person in society. The prayer, gentlemen pray. The young lady said about William student ethics. We sometimes go through life and cross every T and dot every I, but we leave out the most important thing of being compassionate in what we do. Because the job has to be done and we do it, but not out of love and doing it. That's doing it because someone said it had to be done. We do it because we want to be a part and to share. And that's what I saw in Reid at a very early age. His father was my boss at a company called Tweeter. And William would come in and he would do a lot of things around the store. And he'd always would take charge of things. And I gave him the nickname, the General. I said, this is the General. And I see that today as I've lost contact with him probably about a couple of years, but I still see that same direction in your life. Thank God. One thing that I wrote down, and everybody else said the same, so I'm not saying anything new. I saw it early age involvement. He would get involved. He would do things. He would help others. He also showed the leadership ability to help others and also do himself. He wouldn't only just tell others, but he would get right in there. I saw that in him. And I also saw the spirit of him. When he saw someone else needed encouragement or, a helping hand sometimes, you understand. He was there. He was that type of person. And I just want to leave this here. With the scouts and the guidance of his parents, I know he would play a great part in the future of the United States.
Thank you, Eugene, and thanks to all those spoken on William's behalf.
He's like, I don't even know. Just come on up here, like that. He's like, man, I actually have to get up.
And he's still trying to answer.
I know, like, can you poke the button? That's, I don't think. I guess.
I saw the light fade from the sky. On the wind I hear a sigh. As the snowflakes cover
if you haven't seen it yet, it's the final song to the Battle of the Five Armies, the new Hobbit movie that's just been released. William began his scouting career as a Tiger Scout. The same year that the first Hobbit movie came out. And we went to the movies. He was 5 years old. He sat in my lap and we watched the very first movie. And each year, the next movie would come out and he would go with us. We don't go to the movies very often, but that storyline is epic, and it tells a great tale about the struggles of life and the battle between good and evil and overcoming impossible odds. And he watched those first 3 movies with us. And then there was an 8-year gap where he grew and grew and grew in scouting, in the SCA, in school, and in life. And then 3 years ago, the next set of movies came out. And he continued to go with us and see those. This past December, we had been made aware that he had passed and had been awarded his Eagle. And there was the space of time between knowing that he had it and getting to do this ceremony. And the last movie came out, and we realized that his life as a self-aware person and growing into being an adult sort of coincided with those movies. And the characteristics and the willingness to endure the struggles of life were embodied in those movies as well. And that he went with us as an 18-year-old with his parents to the movies for the final, for one more time. Just struck a chord. And then when the final song came up, and it talked about moving on and separating yourself and going out and seeing what the next thing around the corner on the path of life is, it spoke to us. And so we wanted to play that as a final ending to this. So sorry we're running by me getting up and speaking. I'm very proud of my son. I'm very proud of my daughter and my wife and my family. They have seen me through a lot of struggles and stuck by me through all the different things that I've put them through. And William is growing to just a phenomenal young man. And I look forward to seeing what he can do over the course of his life. And I'm truly grateful for the men in his life who have helped make that happen when I couldn't do it myself. Dennis Williams, who got up and did the opening prayer, has been a friend of ours for quite some time. He got to see William be born, and we got to see his son be born, and we've been friends for that long. And he and I talked many times when our sons were very small about how to help grow them into men. And scouting presented a wonderful opportunity for that. So if you know scouts, if you have family or friends who are scouts, encourage them to grow and participate in scouting and to grow into being strong men and women. And be sure and thank the community leaders and those who volunteer for scouting for their efforts in helping making strong young men and women. Thank you.
That was not on the program, but I'll tell you what, that's one of the greatest tributes I've heard.
That was the director's cut.
The extended edition.
That was truly fabulous. Thank you. We would also, again, like to thank on behalf of Robin, Tammy, William, Tara, the entire family, and Troop 926, would like to thank all of you all for attending. attending William Reid's Eagle Scout Court of Honor. After we're concluded here, everyone is invited to go downstairs for refreshments. You go simply through this door downstairs. There's also memorabilia, pictures, and letters from various elected officials and others that you want to look at. Flag that flew over the Capitol. And so with that, I want us to give one final round of congratulations to William. You are dismissed.